beautiful rising kings and queens. I hope you have a fantastic day. Today, I have my first face-to-face sickle cell clinic since lockdown. First, I get my blood taken to check my blood count, electrolytes, and hormones due to me being 42 years. I waited for ages as usual. This place is always busy, so I make sure I have water to help my blood and keep hydrated and some snacks. Then it's off to outpatient suite for to see the nurse and my hematologist. Here, the nurse checks my weight, tests my urine, and blood pressure, which has been worryingly low for a few years now, no matter what doctors and I do. That's my notes. 42 years of medical records full with every treatment and near-death experience I refuse to finish reading. Due to my blood count dropping gradually over the years, while managing my health well, it's recommended I take drugs daily to help. Part 2 is coming, explaining why hydroxycarbamide.
So, after yesterday's appointment, part 2, I'm going to explain to you a little bit of the backstory. So I was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia at the age of 13, not at birth like my brother, who is a sickle cell warrior also, but he is an SC sickle cell sufferer. So my mum and dad, they literally raised us to eat really healthy. We ate a lot of traditional foods, don't get me wrong, sometimes we had the odd treat, but my mum really focused on our diet by making sure she cooked every day, and we were eating a lot of foods that were rich in vitamins. She also made sure that I was taking my penicillin, folic acid and multivitamins every day religiously. Up until about I was in my 20s, I would be taking those religiously. But as puberty finished, I realized that me taking penicillin was kind of making my immune system a little bit weak, and I would just, every time I got sick, I would have to have stronger and stronger antibiotics. I also realised how my body started to change after every child I had. I've got 3 children, so by the time I had my third child, I could really feel the change in my body, how unhealthy I was getting, and I began to worry about my longevity of life. And like any mum or dad, they're going to want to see their grandchildren and last as long as they can. I took that decision to change my health around, to look into natural holistic foods, and hence why I took a degree in human nutrition and health. So throughout my 20s, I was able to maintain a decent enough blood count after having my first child of about 9. 10 is how it was from my teens up until my 20s, but after I had my first child, it dropped to 9 and stayed there. So by the time I had my third child, my health wasn't as great, no. This is what encouraged me to start making sea moss, which my grandmother made, and I remembered was really good for health. And I think she knew what she was doing, keeping me in the kitchen at a young age, watching her making this, because now I'm making it for myself and keeping myself healthy. So with nutrition and my diet, I was able from my teens and early 20s to keep my blood count between a 10 and a 9. A normal blood count for a female like me is 11.5, 11. For men, it's 13. But after my last pregnancy, especially nearly losing my life and my child through that labour was very traumatic, my health really did deteriorate. I could feel me getting weak, and yeah, it was time for me to bite the bullet and change around my life. I changed how I ate, I exercised more, and I got involved more in nutrition and health communities on social media, and obviously I did my degree in human nutrition and health. This improved my health a lot. I was able to maintain 8 stone in weight, 8.5 stone, 9 stone in weight for a long period of time. But after having my final child, I couldn't get past 8 stone, and my blood count dropped to 6, and it has stayed 6 since then. So since then, it's just been trying to maintain health, which my hematologists have always said I've worn it well. I always look healthy, and I've been looking after myself well and monitoring my health. I was able to reduce my hospital visits from being once a week, 4 times a month, to twice a year, to 3 times a year max. But I was still having regular blood transfusions, and that's when I started to make CMOS. As my knowledge in nutrition grew and my confidence in making what my grandmother taught me to make grew, I decided to make CMOS and started making it for myself. And then that turned into Most High Foods CMOS jelly, and I started selling it to friends and family and built my business from there. My health turned around a lot after I had my last child. I got a lot more energy. I got up to 9 stone, and yeah, I got through uni, and yeah, I was enjoying life. But now I'm 42 and getting older, and the hormones are doing the most right now. I felt a change in my body, and I've been struggling to maintain that 9.5 stones that I used to keep on quite easily, but now I'm finding it so much more difficult to maintain that 9.5 stone, and I've been stuck on bloody 8 stone. The reduction in my weight has affected my immune system, it has affected my hormones and my menstrual cycle. Also, the last few sickle cell crises have taken its toll on my health and my body, especially the one that I had just before lockdown in November 2019, where I had to have an exchange blood transfusion where they took blood out of me and replaced my blood. All of this has added to my body trying to acclimate itself and rebalancing itself, and struggling to get my blood count back to normal or even its usual 9. But now I am a more mature lady of 42. I have to be realistic and realize that as much as I have managed my health really well, I eat quite healthy, and I have CMOS to help balance my body and keep me going, because that's what's literally keeping me going right now, with a blood count of 6. And not a blood count of 6 temporarily. This has been for a good 5 or 6 years, which is, if I weren't in the know of how to eat healthy, I probably wouldn't be here today. This is why I always say nutrition is key and your health is your wealth. So now it's recommended that I take hydroxycarbamide to help my blood. Hydroxycarbamide helps a sickle cell warrior's blood to produce more fetal blood cells, or fetal hemoglobin. This is the hemoglobin that we produce from our blood marrow, which sickle cell warriors do not produce round blood cells but sickle shaped ones. And we also produce too many white blood cells, neutrophils, neutrophils and basophils, if I can remember. And this causes sickle blood to get sticky, causing blood clots and eventually sickle crises. So taking hydroxycarbamide helps the bone marrow to produce more normal blood cells and reduce the amount of white blood cells that are making a sickle cell warrior's blood sticky, causing crises in the body. I avoided taking it for a little while. Well, for a good few years I was suggested to go on it, but where my health was okay and my blood count and my body felt good, I didn't want to rush and take medication. But now I am the age that I am, I have to be realistic and understand that I need to look after my body the best way I can, especially now I'm maturing, and especially because I can't maintain my weight like I used to. And as we know, being underweight can also introduce other risks of diseases and complications I don't need. So I'm going to start documenting my experiences on this therapy, see how it makes me feel, And yeah, I know it's not going to be all roses in the park because my body's gotten acclimatized to it. It's a bone marrow drug, so it could make me feel a bit crap at first. So yeah, I will keep everybody posted on my journey. Let all my sickle cell warriors know what my experiences are, and we can exchange notes. And anyone with any questions, please drop a comment. I'm happy to answer anyone's questions, to help anyone understand this experience, especially if they've got someone they know with sickle cell.